Hello, my name is Teacher Terry, and in this video I am going to walk you through part 2 of Mock 1 for your VIPKID Mock class. The title is My Country, My Culture, and this will be a continuation of the beginning part, which was the letter X, which I explained in a different video. I'll put the link below. So this one is more an intermediate child. So they have been learning Chinese for about 2 years. So they're going to have a lot more, not Chinese, learning English for about 2 years. So they're going to have a lot more language. In this one, you will have 10 minutes to complete the lesson. And it's called My Country, My Culture, My Country, meaning their country, China. So on the first slide, you would just say, hello, my name is Teacher Terry. What is your name? Hi, Lisa. Nice to meet you. How are you? I'm fine, or something like that. And then you could even say, how old are you? And if they say 7, then you say, I am 7 years old. Because you want them to speak in complete sentences. You could also, instead of like, how old are you, you could say, what did you do today? And make sure that they respond in a complete sentence. And then you just move on to the next slide. There is no warm-up. Do not add a warm-up. You only have 10 minutes to complete this lesson, and you're going to need all 10 minutes of it, believe me. So you just go on to the next slide, which is My Country. And there's no reward slide. So what I did is I just continued the rewards that I did from the beginning lesson that I did before. So I used the teeth. So I just said when they do a good job in this one, I just continued the behavior system from the last lesson. It's called My Country. So you always want to introduce the word in red first. Country. What is a country? You want to see if they know what a country is first before teaching them it. Try to see what prior knowledge this particular student has. Also in the notes that you get about the objectives and everything, you can see what the prior knowledge is of the student. So then you can say country, and if they tell you what a country is, you say good job, and then you can have them show, if they say China as a country, I got this at the dollar store, and just say, China is a country. And then you can also say, United States is a country. And then have them, can you read? And you might have to underline the words to show them that you want them to read. And they should just read, China is my country. It is the land where I was born. And then you, you can say a country is a nation with people, language, culture, land, and government. And I actually just made this little collage with just Google Images and just added the words to it. Just as a visual, when I'm explaining what a country is, I can say it's a place with people, culture, land, language, and government. And just make sure you hold it still so they can see it. Just a little bit of a visual to explain what a country is. Then you say, good job, and then click to the next slide. The next slide is about the flag. So you'll want to say, flag. And maybe circle the picture of the word flag, or the picture of the Chinese flag. And then you can ask, what is a flag? And see what they say. And then say, can you read? And then they will read the flag. This is the flag of my country. A flag is a piece of cloth that can represent a country. They might have a hard time saying the word represent. And on these two slides, this slide and the next slide, you'll be teaching the word cloth and represent. So I have this, I believe is from the dollar store. So I just say flag. This is a flag. And it's made of cloth. And maybe just touch your shirt so they see that this is cloth. And then you might have to clap out the word represent. Represent. And have them practice that. And then you say that flag represents their country, China. And then the next slide is, this is the American flag. It represents America. You can just have them read that. And then you can ask them, what nationality are you? And then if they don't know, you say, Chinese. I am Chinese. To teach them that their nationality, they are Chinese, because that's one of the target sentences for the lesson. Then you move on to the next slide, and it's, what do these represent? So you want them to be using the vocabulary word represent. So you might circle, I might start with McDonald's because that's more of a known symbol. And you can say, what does this represent? And circle it on the screen. And if they say McDonald's, I think my mentor actually said hamburgers. And if they say hamburgers, I didn't correct them because that is true. McDonald's is known for selling hamburgers. So I didn't, I said, yes, this represents hamburgers. Good job. And then go on, if you want to have a picture printed out of McDonald's, maybe even what it looks like in China. For Mercedes, they might say this represents a car. And maybe even have a toy car you could hold up. Nike, the characters are, the Chinese characters represent Chinese language. And I actually have this printed out so I could also show them this. Language. Okay, this represents language. And if they mess up with the word represent, just tell them represent. Don't have them repeat the whole sentence. Just isolate the mistake of them correcting the correct pronunciation of the vocabulary word represent. And one more thing for when you're talking about the symbols, I also had one of my sneakers that's Nike, and I said, yes, this represents a shoe, and showed them the sneaker. Okay, so the next slide is talking about the capital of China. Remember, I had this collage that I had made to talk about the things that represent, or that are part of a country. So I have this picture of government already on it. So on this one, I would say capital, and then have them, because that's the word in red, and then say the capital of a country is the city with most of the government offices. Capital. Can you read about the capital? So they would read, China is a country with many people. The capital of China is Beijing. And you could talk quickly, maybe like look at the picture, look at all the people in Beijing. It is a very busy city. And then you can ask them, what is the capital of China if you would want. And then you go on to the next slide. So that slide doesn't take that much time. Okay, so the next slide is about landmarks. So you want to say landmark and have them repeat it, and then you want to define what a landmark is. And a landmark is a building or a place that is important for a country. And then you can have them read the slide. In China, there are many famous landmarks. Of course, listen to make sure that they're pronouncing the words correctly. For example, if they say famous, or they don't know the word famous, just say famous, and then go on. A landmark is a place or a building that is famous and important for a country. Some landmarks are made by people and some are natural. So if you look at your objectives for this lesson, you want them to be able to decipher which landmarks are natural and which ones are made or built by people. So you go through the Yellow Mountains, the Great Wall, Tiananmen Square, Terracotta Warriors, and Forbidden City. So then you can ask them, what is the Great Wall? And then have them tell you what the Great Wall is. And then you can say, who built the Great Wall? And you want them to say the emperor built the Great Wall. And then you could say, why did they build the Great Wall? And then they should say the emperor built the Great Wall to protect China. And the same thing, the Terracotta Warriors were actually built by the emperor to protect the emperor after he died. So, so just go through some of those landmarks and make sure that they know that the Yellow Mountains are a natural landmark. So then you can reward them. Good job. And then you move on to the next slide, which is them being able to decipher the landmarks that were made by people and natural. So you can have them circle, was the Great Wall made by people or is it natural? And then you could draw a line to show them and then go like this and have them draw a line, and they just go through the different landmarks that were natural or made by people, and make sure like they don't just draw a line. Make sure they say the Great Wall was made by people. The Yellow River is natural. Make sure they say that sentence structure when they're practicing and deciphering which one is natural and made by people. And then you're on to your last slide, which is teaching the phonics scale, which is soft C. So you can say, sometimes when C is followed by CE, CI, or CY, it sounds like an S. And I just have this, and I could say, like in prince, celery, city. And then I would help them practice the words on the slide. So it has an arrow and it has C and then an E. So I have CE, and then I would just write like this. Scent. Good job. And then ice. Ice. And see if they can maybe do one by themselves after you do maybe two. So I would write this. Face. Good. And then the last one. Once. And go through the same concept for all of the words city, pencil, exercise, and cycle. And you could have props that represent these. Like this is a scent, and you can use TPR. Of course, it's not showing up because of my light. But you could have maybe exercise weights for exercise, a pencil for pencil, and you just want them to know, or soft C makes the S sound. And that's all you need to do for that slide. Make sure they can read those words and tell you that when C is followed by E, I, or Y, it makes a S sound. You go on to your last slide. You congratulate them. Say, wow, good job, Lisa, yay. And then say, I hope to see you again. Bye, good job. So once again, just to review the materials that I used for this lesson, I printed out some pictures, a collage that represents what a country is, and I used all pictures that represent the China as a country. I printed this out. You don't need it, but any pictures or items or objects that have the soft C sound, like my scent or a pencil. I had a whiteboard and a marker. That's always a good prop to have. I had my dollar store globe. I had an American flag And I always like to use a timer, and I just start it. And then I know that when I'm at the 1 minute mark, I should be moving on to slide 2. When I'm at the 2 minute mark, I should be moving on to slide 3. And maybe an orange shirt for extra good luck and extra credit to represent VIP Kid. And just remember to have fun, and remember to ask those target sentences and make sure that you're explaining the target vocabulary, and just have fun and relax, practice, smile, and remember that the student should be doing more of the talking in this lesson than you are. Have a wonderful Mock 1 Part 2 lesson, and let me know if you have any questions. You can email me. My email address is below, and the link for Part 1 is in the link below too. My name is Teacher Terry, and I hope you have a fabulous time going through your interview journey and becoming a VIP Kid teacher. Please let me know if there's any way I can help you.